So I've been going to the gym for 3 years now, and I've managed to make some crazy progress. As you can see, I was extremely skinny when I started, long insertions, but I managed to put on some decent muscle and change my physique. However, towards the end of 2024, I started to realize my progress was starting to drop, and after 2 years of consistently going to the gym and constantly seeing progress, I had finally hit a plateau. This is a period in every skinny guy's journey where you start to realize that your physique is not really changing, At this point, it's like you're just going to the gym for the sake of training. You're not really seeing any changes to your weight or your physique. So after 3 months of this, I decided I was going to go on a crazy bulk. I wanted to get bigger, more muscular. I wanted to get jacked. I was just tired of, going to the gym and not seeing any progress, and I was tired of the way I looked. So I decided to go on a 6-month heavy bulk where my goal was to gain as much muscle and size as possible. However, about 2 weeks into this bulk, I realized that this was actually going to be harder than I thought. I thought it was just as simple as stuffing my face with whatever I want to eat, and then going to the gym and then thinking, I'm gonna get jacked. But bro, it was not as easy as I thought. So in this video, I'm basically going to share with you guys 3 important things that helped me make my bulking journey easier, that I used to gain 20 kgs in 6 months and completely change my physique, helping you jump out of that plateau as well and get back to making progress as a skinny guy. Make sure you guys subscribe. Let's get into the video. So the first thing is to do with eating. This is the most important part of this whole process, and that's why I'm talking about it first. When I just started the bulk, I was filling up my plate to the top, thinking I had to have like huge portions of food in order to gain size. However, this made it such a struggle to get the food down. I was spending about 45 minutes just trying to get down one meal, struggling to get all that food down in one sitting after eating. And after eating, I would feel completely exhausted. I wouldn't be able to go to the gym immediately. I'd have to wait 2 hours before going to the gym. I couldn't do anything. I was sleepy, I was lazy. This was bad because I would not look forward to the next meal. Even after going to the gym, coming back home, I wouldn't look forward to eating, and it literally just felt like a chore. It felt really, really hard, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to keep this up for 6 months. So I would literally come from the gym dreading the amount of food I had to eat, and there was no way I was going to do this consistently for 6 months. So how did I solve this problem? I started splitting my meals into more smaller meals with smaller portions instead of having just 3 big meals a day. So my structure when I started was heavy breakfast, heavy lunch, heavy dinner, or post-workout, depending on the time I went to the gym. If I went to the gym in the morning or if I went to the gym at night, I'd have a big meal after training. But later on, I started splitting my structure into more meals with smaller portions, giving my body time to prepare for the food instead of just stuffing my face with 2,500 calories in one sitting. You guys should try doing this. It makes it way easier to get your food down and not make eating feel like a chore. So the second tip is to do with eating, we're talking about gaining size, so 90% of that is done in the kitchen. You want to get smarter with your meal prep in terms of the way you cook. There's certain ingredients that can add a significant amount of calories to your meals without changing the portions or the size of your meal, like cooking oil, cheese, butter, peanut butter. When you're cooking your eggs, for example, in the morning, why not add some cheese to it? Why not add some more olive oil? When you're frying your food, add some honey, add some peanut butter to your oats and cereal. These are easy ways to increase your calorie intake without making your meals harder to eat. When you're eating these meals, you're not going to notice the change in the oil. You're not going to notice the change in the honey. It's not going to make it harder for you to consume. You need to get creative with the way you cook your meals. Get smarter with the way you cook. You'll be shocked at the amount of calories you're able to add to your meals without actually changing the overall size of your meals. This is one of the best things I started doing, and I still do up to now, that has significantly made it easier for me to bulk up within those 6 months. So you guys should start doing this. Okay, now moving aside from the eating part of this whole process, let's get on to your training. So during this 6-month period, I structured my training into focusing more on compound lifts and having more rest days. See, skinny guys can't train like everybody else. I see guys all the time going to the gym to do a full session of isolated movements. You find someone has come to the gym is doing dumbbell curls, rope extensions, he's maybe doing some lateral raises. He's not doing any bench press, no weighted dips, no barbell rows, and evidently they don't end up growing. They stay the same way they were 2 months, 3 months into it. You know, you might get a bicep vein here and there, but your overall size will not change. When you put on a shirt, someone will not be able to tell that this person goes to the gym. That's because of the way you're training. If you guys want to gain weight and size and get jacked, you need to start prioritizing compound lifts 3 times a week at least. I personally started having 2 rest days as well, because, you know, following these compound lifts, you need your body to recover. You don't need to be in the gym 7 days a week if you're training properly. As a matter of fact, if you're able to go to the gym 7 days a week without feeling fatigued and you feel like you can still train, then definitely you're not training properly. You're not training as hard as you should be, and recovery is just as important as anything else. So start making sure the way you train, make sure you're prioritizing your compound lifts, bench press, barbell rows, do your squats. I see guys going to the gym to train legs and they're just doing leg extensions, you know, hamstring curls. Guys, you're not gonna you're lying to yourself, bro. You can have all the meal prep in the world, you know, you can have the meals, but if your training is whack, you're not gonna get bigger, you're just gonna stay the same, bro. So yeah, after 6 months of following this game plan, I was able to gain 20 kilograms. You know, I was looking more muscular, I was looking bigger. I have a little belly, you know, as you can see in this video, but overall I'm happy with the size I gained. I was able to gain a big, you guys can see the difference, you know, side by side. You can see when I started the bulk to when I finished the bulk, there's a big difference. So yeah, do these tips and I promise you guys will gain that size you're looking for. If you enjoyed this video, comment down below, like the video and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 300 subs by the end of the year, so hit that button and see you in the next one. Sharp.